Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, August 12th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap the Major League Baseball games from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. NBA Summer League will do the same thing. NFL Preseason Week 1 officially begins tonight, so look at the schedule. WNBA, golf, news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, we will start with baseball as we'll go over yesterday's window of games and look ahead to a interesting slate of games this afternoon and evening. Mets over the Nationals 8-7 in the game that was put on suspension. Mets 57-55, Washington 50-63. Twins over the White Sox 1-0. Twins 50-65, White Sox 67-48. Astros over the Rockies 5-1. The Astros 68-46. Colorado 51-63. Yankees over the Royals 5-2. The Yankees are 63-51. KC 49-64. Marlins over the Padres 7-0. The Marlins are 48-67. San Diego 66-50. Dodgers over the Phillies 8-2. The Dodgers 69-45. Philly 59-55. Tigers over the Orioles 5-2. The Tigers are 56-60. Baltimore 38-74. Cardinals over the Pirates 4-0. Cardinals 57-56. Pittsburgh 41-73. A's over the Indians 6-3. The A's 66-48. Cleveland 55-57. Red Sox over the Rays 20-8. Boston 66-50. Tampa Bay 69-45. Braves over the Reds 8-6 and 11 on a 3-run walk-off home run by Ozzie Albies. Atlanta's 59-55. Cincinnati 61-54. Brewers over the Cubs 10-0. Brewers 69-46. Chicago's 52-64. Blue Jays over the Angels 10-2. Blue Jays 62-51. LA 57-58. Giants over the Diamondbacks 7-2. The Giants are 73-41. Arizona 35-80. Mariners over the Rangers 2-1. Best bet was a loser. And they won on a walk-off single by Luis Torrens. Seattle 60-55. Texas 40-74. And then Nationals Mets postponed makeup date today. All right. And that game that's going to be made up is going to be at 12 o'clock. We don't know who's going for Washington yet, and Trevor Williams is going for the Mets. I'm going to check real quickly if there's lines up, and there is. Mets are minus 210. Nats are plus 176. Over-under 6.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Mets plus 1.5, or Nats plus 1.5 is minus 126. Mets minus 1.5 is plus 105. And now they're saying Marcus Stroman for the day for the Mets. And Nolene's going for Washington. I'm going over 6.5 minus 112. 12:30, the Cardinals and the Pirates. Wade LeBlanc and JT Brubaker. Cardinals minus 126. Pittsburgh plus 108. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Cardinals minus 1.5 is plus 128. Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 154. I'm going under 8.5 minus 105. Dodgers Phillies at 1. We don't know what's going for LA, and Ranger Suarez is going for Philly. But maybe I'll bet on the Phillies if they're a dog. A's Indians, Chris Bassett and Eli Morgan. Indians are plus 148. A's minus 178. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Minus 1.5 and plus 1.5 respectively are minus 110 each. For here, I'm going to go under 9.5 minus 112. I know how bad Eli Morgan's been, but Chris Bassett's just been really good. 220 Brewers Cubs. Brandon Woodruff and Kyle Hendricks. Brewers minus 220. Cubs plus 184 over under 8.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Brewers -1.5 is -126. Cubs +1.5 is +105. Tough one, but I'm going to go under 8.5 -104. 3:30 Nats-Mets Game 2. We don't know who's going for the Nets, and this one says Marcus Stroman's going for the Mets. But if anything, I would bet the over again if it's anything less than 7.5. 4 o'clock, Tigers-Orioles. Matt Manning and John Means. Orioles -148, Detroit +126, over under 10.5. Overs -106, unders -114. Detroit +1.5 is -150. Baltimore -1.5 is +125. I'm going under 10.5 -114. Just because I like John Means a lot. Rays Red Sox, the finale. The rubberneck game. You got Tanner Houck and Drew Rasmussen. Rays -106, Red Sox -110, over under 11, -110 each way. Rays -1.5 is +150. Red Sox +1.5 is -182. So the Red Sox are slight favorites on the money line, and the Rays are slight favorites on the run line. I'm going with the Red Sox -110, but I don't feel good about it. Rangers Mariners, Mike Foltynewicz and Marco Gonzalez. Seattle -225, Texas +188, over under 8.5, overs -118, unders -104. Texas +1.5 is -108, Seattle -1.5 is -111. I'm going to go over 8.5 with the juice number at -118. 5 o'clock, Reds Braves. Vladimir Gutierrez and Kyle Muller. Braves -154, Reds +130, over under 10.5, -110 each way. Reds +1.5 is -146, Braves -1.5 is +122. I'm going to go under 10.5 -110. I think that's a little high. 7:15 on Fox, the Field of Dreams game. Yankees White Sox. You would expect to see Joe Buck on the call for this one with John Smoltz, as you should be. Andrew Heaney and Lance Lynn. The White Sox -174. The Yankees are +146, over under 9.5. Overs -105, unders -115. Yankees +1.5 is -134. White Sox -1.5 is +112. I'm going over 9.5 -105. I don't love Andrew Heaney. He gives up a lot of home runs. I think that the White Sox will mash off him. Lance Lynn's been pretty good for the White Sox, but the Yankee offense has been a lot better of late, sans some injuries and COVID stuff. So, I'm going over 9.5 -105, but I don't feel the best about it because I just reminded myself that the Yankees have some COVID and injury issues. 9:30, the Blue Jays and the Angels. Jose Barrios and Shohei Ohtani. What a fabulous pitching matchup. Blue Jays -136, Angels +116, over under 8.5. Overs -112, unders -108. Blue Jays -1.5 is +118. Angels +1.5 is -142. Just to be different, I'm going to take Shohei Ohtani and the Angels +116. Shohei Ohtani's good at everything. I think people forget that he could pitch. So give me Shohei Ohtani and the Angels +116. Padres Diamondbacks. Yu Darvish and Taylor Widener. Padres -245, D-backs +205, over under 9, overs -106, unders -114. Padres -1.5 is -138, D-backs +1.5 is +115. I'm going over 9 -106. At 9:45, the Rockies and the Giants, Herman Marquez and Logan Webb. Giants -198, Rockies +166, over under 7.5, -110 each way. Rockies +1.5 is -128, Giants -1.5 is +106. I'm going over 7.5 -110. I think that's a low number. I think that the Rockies bullpen could be the deciding factor here on the over. All right, NBA Summer League. I will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. Nets over the Bucks, 97-91. Cam Thomas had 22 and 4 assists for Brooklyn, and Jordan Nwora had 22 for Milwaukee. Heat over the Grizzlies 97-94 in double overtime. Max Struss, 32 points. Zaire Williams had 19 for Memphis. Cavs over the Magic 94-84. Isaac Okoro had 15 for Cleveland. Meanwhile, Evan Mobley 14, 7, and 6. Jalen Suggs 16 points, 8 boards, and 5 assists. Pelicans over the Thunder 80-65. Najee Marshall had 18 and 11 for New Orleans. And Aaron Wiggins had 16 for OKC. Warriors over the Raptors 90-84. Jonathan Kuminga had 18 points. Malachi Flynn had 16 for Toronto. Jazz over the Mavericks 81-80 in double overtime. Trent Forrest had 16 points and 9 assists. Robert Franks had 17 points for Dallas. And the Knicks over the Lakers 91-82. Emmanuel Quickley was amazing. 25.7 assists. And Devontae Kaycock had 14 for the Lakers. All right. Today's game, 3 o'clock on ESPNU. You got the Spurs and the Hornets. 4 o'clock ESPN3, the Bulls and the Timberwolves. At 5 o'clock on ESPNU, the Wizards and the Nets. 6 o'clock ESPN3, the Pacers and the Trailblazers. 7 o'clock ESPN2, you have the Magic and the Celtics. 8 o'clock on ESPN3, the Rockets and the Raptors. So, Jalen Green against Scotty Barnes. 9 o'clock ESPN2, the 76ers and the Hawks. And 10 o'clock on ESPN3, you have the Suns and the Nuggets. All right, now we'll do NFL preseason. There is a couple games on tonight in the preseason. I know a majority of the games are going to be played Saturday, but we'll save that for tomorrow's podcast. 2 games tonight. 7:30, you have the Washington Professional Football Team against the Patriots. I don't think you'll see Ryan Fitzpatrick in this game. You'll see maybe Taylor Heineke. You'll see potentially Mac Jones. So keep an eye on that. Washington's favored by 1.5. Minus 130 on the money line. Patriots are plus 110. Over under is 36.5. I'm going with New England because of the potential of Mac Jones playing in this game. And I think he can play well here. I'm just going to double check and see if he's starting. Or we'll see. Cam Newton and Mac Jones both expected to play tonight, according to Mike Rice of ESPN. All right. Give me plus 110 right now, New England. And plus 1.5, obviously, too. And then the other game tonight at 7:30 is the Steelers and the Eagles. The Eagles are 1-point favorites, minus 110 each way. They're minus 120 on the money line. Steelers are even money. Over under is 34.5. Overs minus 105. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Starting at quarterback tonight for each side. We are looking to see who is starting. It says that all Eagle starters will see action against the Steelers. So you'll see Jalen Hurts. You'll see a lot of their starters. But in terms of reserves, I like what I saw out of the Steelers reserves in the Hall of Fame game. And their quarterbacks didn't look particularly great in the Hall of Fame game. But the Eagles' quarterback depth chart isn't that great either. It's Jalen Hurts. I think Nate Sudfeld's in the mix as well. So, for this game, I'm going to lay the 1 with Philly, but I don't feel excited about it. because I think you might see Jalen Hurts play a little bit and then a little bit of Sudfeld. So I'm going to lay on the Eagles, but I'm not going crazy over it. All right. WNBA returns tonight. It's very exciting. We haven't covered this league since before the Olympics because they had their Olympic break. One game on tonight at 9 o'clock. It's between the Sun and the Storm. It's a great game. The Sun are 14-6. The Storm are 16-5. I need to get Jeff Maglicetti on the podcast, maybe next week. There's no lineup for this game, but I think the Storm are going to win at home, led by Brianna Stewart and Sue Bird. So give me the Storm at home against the Sun. All right, now I'm going to go over the current leaderboard for the Wyndham Championship that just got underway this morning. And at top right now, you have a tie at 5 under between Sung-Hoo Kong and Brian Stewart at 5 under. Tied for third at 4 under, Luke List, Matt Thompson, Taylor Gooch, Jonathan Vegas, and John Senden. Tied for 8th with 3 under, Lucas Glover, Tyler Duncan, Kevin Ah, Ryan Henley, Tyler McCumber, and Kitterick Barnott. Tied for 14th at 2 under, Walter Zalatoris, Wes Gordon, Doug Gim, Sebastian Munoz, Kevin Ventura, Kyung Jo Choi, Seamus Power, Ben Martin, Andrew Landry, Brandon Grace, Francesco Molinari, Sebastian Munoz. Tied for 26th at 1 under, Bo Van Pelt, Matthew Neesmith, Bo On, Adam Scott, Kyung Hoon Lee, Matt Kuchar, Adam Putnam, Keith Mitchell, Doc Redmond, Cam Percy, Scott Harrington, Chasen Headley, Nelson Ledesma, and Rafael Campos. Tied for 40th at even. I'm just going to go through the notables at this point because there's a ton of them here. Camila Vegas actually just dropped. DJ Tran, Matt Wolf, Brendan Todd, Zach Johnson, Harold Varner III, Lucas Donald, Seb Straka. Tied for 64th at 1 over, Sam Ryder, Mackenzie Hughes, Brent Snecker, Joel Dahman, Lucas Griffin. Tied for 73rd with 2 over, Jason Kokrak, Chesver V. And tied for 77th with 3 over, Roger Sloan and Adam Long. And we have a lot still to come, and we went over the tee times on yesterday's show, but I'm just going to recap what I went over yesterday very quickly. 12:15 tee times, Dylan McCarthy, Charles Schwartzel, Rory Sabatini, Rob Oppenheim. 12:26, Kyle Stanley, Chris Kirk. 12:37, Bo Hoag, Tommy Fleetwood, Wyndham Clark, Mark Hubbard, Tommy Fleetwood, Scott Stallings. 12:48, Sanjay M, Russell Knox, Cheng Sung Pong. 12:59, JT Potson, Webb Simpson, Joaquin Herman. 1:10, Justin Rose, Kevin Kisner, Hideki Matsuyama, and Satoshi Kodiara. 1:21, Evan Van Rooyen, Richie Rowensky, Gary Woodland, Mac Jones. 1:32, Bubba Watson, Dylan Fratelli, 143. Rory McIntyre, Adam Schenk, Henry Higgs, Taylor Hogue. 154. J.J. Spawn, Adam Hadwin, Brian Harmon. 205. Patrick Rogers, Kevin Streelman, Tom Lewis. 216. Mito Piera. And 227, Vince Whaley's in that time frame. All right, now I'm going to do news and notes. Starting off with a comment said by Jaguars head coach Urban Meyer. Open competition at quarterback between Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. That's ridiculous. Just hand the job to Trevor Lawrence because he's supposed to be the next great thing, the best quarterback drafted since Peyton Manning, and you're putting up him against a slob in Gardner Minshew. He's a slob compared to Trevor Lawrence and what he can be. Minshew has shown some promise, but he ain't Trevor Lawrence. And they better start Trevor week 1. That's all I got to say. Meanwhile, the Saints and Michael Thomas are working things out as Thomas and head coach Sean Payton met recently to clear the air over frustrations and are not seeking a split. So that is good news. The Seattle Seahawks are cutting Aldon Smith after signing him in the offseason and was charged with second-degree battery in April. So I think that has a lot to do with why he was cut. So Ernie Johnson made an amazing speech to the Alabama football team. He said some powerful words. You can check out the video on Bleacher Report. J.R. Smith is eyeing golf as the former NBA guard is enrolling at North Carolina A&T and is looking to his NCAA eligibility to play golf for HBCU. So here's some non-sports related news. The FDA is set to okay a third vaccine dose for the non-compromised. So we'll see how that goes. And that's going to be the third in addition to Pfizer and Moderna. Johnson & Johnson has been the weakest of the three. So we'll see how this one is. So the soon-to-be governor of New York fully expects to run in 2022 and believes that there will end up being mask mandates in schools. So we'll see about the mask mandates in schools thing. I know in New Jersey here, Governor Murphy recently announced that K through 12 schools have to wear masks. So we'll see if it becomes like a national thing or not. And I'm sure New York is following suit there, like New Jersey just did. So 2 injuries. Johnny Cueto on the injured list with the right flexor strain for the Giants. That is a big loss for them. He's been rejuvenated for them this year and their pitching staff. And Mookie Betts to the injured list with the right hip injury. That is a big loss for the Dodgers starting lineup. Rashad Bateman out weeks due to a groin injury. So at least it's not months like it was initially thought. Dak Prescott is getting an MRI on his shoulder as he suffered a right shoulder strain during training camp. The Giants signed defensive tackle Elijah Qualls for depth purposes. The Los Angeles Lakers are eyeing Isaiah Thomas as a potential signee. He's not the same player as he was in Boston several years ago, but he can be impactful off the bench, like 7 minutes like 7 minutes a half per se. Kyrie Irving and James Harden are near extensions, as Sean Marks is confident that deals will be done by training camp. A.J. Brown is predicting Elijah Moore for Offensive Rookie of the Year, his former Ole Miss teammate. We'll see how that goes. The Knicks made the Kemba Walker signing official. It's 2 years, $18 million deal. You had to do it if you were the Knicks. Just to see like how it would play out. Low risk, high reward. We'll see how that works, and hopefully Kemba stays healthy. Elias Pettersson says that he hopes to stay in Vancouver, but wants to play for a team that's winning. So, sounds like Elias Pettersson may want out of Vancouver and is frustrated with the losing. But they just had the year from hell last year with the COVID situation and some injuries. So if I were Pettersson, I'd wait it out a little bit because they're 1 year removed from being in the conference semifinals in a Game 7 against the Vegas Golden Knights. So keep that in mind. Alright, so there you have it for news and notes. And now I'm going to do my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I'm going to lay 1 unit, and it's the over 7.5 in Rockies Giants. I can't believe that line is so low. The Rockies bullpen is terrible. So, over 7.5, minus 110. Laying it a quarter unit on it, over 7.5 between the Rockies and the Giants. All right, so there you have it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from baseball, NBA Summer League, NFL preseason, WNBA. We'll do a Wyndham check on the leaderboard. We'll talk NASCAR, news and notes, and best bets. So looking forward to the Friday show. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.